let's get into this one right here. Well, Sports and Fitness Rants, he did a video today about LeBron James being 4-6 in the finals versus Tom Brady being 7-3 in the finals. And what he was really saying was, how is LeBron James celebrated for his losing record when Tom Brady wouldn't be celebrated if he had that same record, 4-6 in the finals? And I can even take it a little bit further. If he was 500 in the finals, he couldn't even be celebrated as a GOAT. Go watch that video. We're going to hit on something else that struck a chord with me about what he was saying. So I don't want to tell you about his video. I told you a little bit about it, but go watch his video. It's great. But, just the whole situation about Tom Brady versus LeBron James, we're going to talk about that. But we're also going to talk about how LeBron James was a victim of two dynasties. A victim of two dynasties. And Michael Jordan victimized the 90s. Yep. With two dynasties. He wasn't on two different teams. He was on the same team, but he had two different dynasties. That's crazy. So when we talk about LeBron James and Tom Brady, let's think about some things that Tom Brady did. A lot of people won't give him a lot of credit because they'll say, "Oh man, he the first three Super Bowls, the defense won it." Well, he put the defense, he put the offense in position to win those games with the kicks. Yep, he drove the ball down and got them in place, and they kicked the ball and won. Now, the other four Super Bowls, you can say this was more Tom Brady. Or the other three. It's really questionable if he really, I would say it was 50-50 when he was in Tampa Bay. He had to make throws to win, though. Yes, they had a great defense, but he had to make throws. It wasn't just like the defense was doing it. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but how many times have we seen Tom Brady come down and be clutch in the Super Bowl? Over and over and over again. We forget about all the times in the playoffs. That we just, that just goes over our heads because of all the times he came down for the winning touchdown. Or even the times he lost, the 3 times he lost, guess what? We really wasn't going to say it was his fault because he scored the touchdown to win the game and the defense let him down. So he did his part by scoring a touchdown, but the opposing team came down and scored, and it was because of his defense. Either way, 3 times that Tom Brady lost, guess what? He didn't get blown out. Tom Brady never got blew out. Let's talk about this. LeBron James was never clutch in the finals. No, it ain't even on Brady's level. Championship game for both of them, they ain't even in the same conversation. We talk about, Michael Jordan and Tom Brady doing clutch things in the championship game. Clutch. Next. Let's talk about this. Because it's the most insane thing you ever heard in sports that they talk about. They talk about LeBron James beat the greatest team of all time because they had the best record of all time in the regular season. Hold on, wait. So, are they the greatest team of all time? For one, they always say, the 16 Warriors were the greatest team of all time. And then, a year later, they say, oh, no, it was Kevin Durant Warriors and 17 the greatest team of all time. Which one is it? So, let's just stick with 2016. You got 2016. That means Eli Manning beat the greatest team of all time. Right? He beat the greatest team of all time. Did he? Or did he not? Actually, Eli Manning beat the greatest quarterback of all time 2 times. How about that? So Eli Manning, shouldn't he be a top 5 quarterback at least of all time? I'm just saying. If you beat the greatest team of all time and then beat you could for just that year, understand what I'm saying? They're saying because they went 16-0 during the regular season, they were the greatest of all time. Eli Manning beat that team. And then he beat him again. So that would be We say the Patriots organization is the greatest of all time. So Peyton Manning beat them twice. And once when they had the best record of all time. That's what they say. But in football, what do they really say? If you don't win a championship, you're not the greatest team of all time. Nope. If you don't win the if you go 16-0 and you don't win a championship, or you go undefeated, whatever, through the regular season, through the playoffs, which is even tougher. But if you lose in the Super Bowl, you're not the greatest team of all time. So how the hell is the Warriors the greatest team of all time? We're not trying to say they had to go undefeated in the playoffs, but what we're trying to say is they had to finish the deal. At least. That's how they see it in football. You have to finish the deal. Because the Dolphins went undefeated and finished the deal. The Warriors didn't finish the deal. So LeBron James never beat the greatest team of all time. And if you want to look at who was on that team, Curry's great. Clay's good. Draymond's decent. But no, that 16 team ain't stacking up to none of the Bulls three-peats. They ain't stacking up to the Pistons in the 80s. They ain't stacking up to the Celtics in the 80s. They ain't stacking up to the Lakers in the 80s. They ain't stacking up to the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. They just ain't. What about the teams that Wilt was on with the Lakers? They ain't stacking up, man. I'm trying to tell you, it just ain't going to work out. You guys are living in a fantasy. They're not the greatest team of all time, even with the record. It's a fantasy. It's a big fantasy that these, the media made up. But he beat the greatest team of all time. So the Chicago Bulls are still the greatest team of all time. They finished the deal. I'm just saying. So we'll talk about that in a minute some more. But when we talk about LeBron James, do you know he got victimized? Or he was a victim to two dynasties? So we can't count 99. The Spurs won in 99. They didn't end up winning again. When was that? 2003. So I wouldn't consider that a dynasty. What I consider the dynasty was 3, 5, and 7. 2003, 2005, 2007. Yep. And guess what? Yeah, because you can't have somebody win 3 in a row. You can't have somebody win a dynasty after you win one championship, and then you come back and win one, and then win another one. Well, come back and win one in 2003, and then win one in 2005. That won't be considered a dynasty to me. The Lakers just went on a damn dynasty, so the 99 won't count towards a dynasty. The dynasty would be 2003, 5, and 7. And LeBron James was the victim of that dynasty in 2007. And from what I remember, in 2003, 2005, they didn't beat the hell out of teams like that. Nope. If the game of basketball is supposed to evolve, the players are supposed to get better. So by 2007, you got the king, you got the anointed one, you got the guy with the most expectations, blah, blah, blah. Who was that? Dwayne Wade just came off a championship. Yep. Finals MVP. Nevertheless, LeBron James couldn't get one game. We don't really need to talk about the whole thing again. We're just saying he was a victim in his first finals of a dynasty. We know Robert Horry got his first ring. Michael Finley, goodness God, he got his first ring. Who was that? Brett Barry. He got his first ring. We know about him, the first white guy who won a dunk contest. I think that was like 97. I'm just saying this guy can win a dunk contest, but LeBron James can't get in a dunk contest. You had a plumber win it in 97? And you're trying to tell me LeBron is athletic? If I'm mistaken, I think Brett Barry kept his warm-ups on and he jumped from the damn free throw line. Yep. I think that's how he won the contest. Jump from the free throw line with his warm-ups on. I don't think LeBron James can do that. Oh, goodness. So when we fast forward to 15, 16, and 17. No, my fault. 15, 17, and 18. LeBron James became a victim of another dynasty. See, the LeBron fans always, oh man, Michael Jordan, this team won a dynasty when Michael Jordan was in the league and such and such and such and such. Well, what we're talking about, Michael Jordan wasn't in the finals when the dynasty happened. He wasn't in the finals when, Bird achieved his dynasty or Magic achieved his dynasty. He wasn't in the finals. And we know LeBron James wasn't in the NBA in 2003. Yeah, 2003, he just came in. So, yeah, hold on. He was in the NBA. 2003, 2004. Then you had 5. And then you had, he was in the NBA. He was in the NBA. He played, no, my fault. They won it in that summer. So he wasn't in the NBA when they won it. But that's not the point. The point is, he got a dynasty put on his head by the Spurs. He couldn't stop the dynasty. In the making, you can say what you want. A lot of players couldn't stop the dynasty if it was going to happen. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is he couldn't even get one game. And he got the dynasty put on his head. 15, 17, and 18. Whatever you want to think. He was a victim of a dynasty. Now, when we look at Michael Jordan, this guy had 2 different dynasties. A lot of times we say, oh, Michael Jordan, 2 3-peats. No, Michael Jordan had 2 different dynasties. That's what they need to say. Michael Jordan didn't have 2 3-peats. Michael Jordan had 2 different dynasties with basically 2 different teams. Yes, Scottie Pippen was there the whole time and Phil Jackson, but still. And you can say Kobe almost had 2 dynasties too. Yep. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When we talk about it, Michael Jordan had 2 different dynasties. And hell, he had this in the same decade. LeBron James had 2 different dynasties put on his head in 2 different decades. The 2000s and the 2010s. He couldn't stop none of them. That's crazy. That's something that should always be talked about. If not, you know what I'm saying, LeBron, and you oh man, well, you can say whatever you want, but Michael Jordan had 2 different dynasties. Not 2 3-peats. He had that too, but 2 different dynasties. Guess what? LeBron James didn't have 1 dynasty. Michael Jordan had 2. With basically 2 different teams. He was on the same team, but with 2 different teams. LeBron James, had like 4 different teams, and he never had a dynasty. We talk about what, Tom Brady was able to do at age 40. What was he, 40 or 41? Win a Super Bowl in his first year with the team. A team that was, I ain't gonna say it was a joke, but they kind of hit rock bottom all through the year. I don't know if you guys remember that season. And they were just kicked around. They were laughed at. Tom Brady, he got a noodle arm. The defense is letting everybody score. All this stuff. Brady throwing interceptions. All this crazy stuff at the beginning of the season. It was hell until the halfway through the season. They were a joke. And then they got it together at the end. And I want to say they were a 2nd seed, or I think they were a wild card. Yep. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a wild card. That's what was so crazy. Remember, because it was on the road. You had to go through Washington. I think they went on the road every game. Washington, New Orleans. Then you had to go to Green Bay, and then they played at home because the Super Bowl was at home. But the fact was, that was a tough road. You still playing the Redskins on the road, if I ain't mistaken. I know you was playing Drew Brees on the road. They were a better team all year. They beat the hell out the Bucs twice. And then you go play Green Bay on the road in Lambeau. Nobody wins in Lambeau. Beat them there. And then it was basically over. You're not going to beat Kansas City. That's Mahomes. Destroy Mahomes. How about that? So LeBron James never had no run like that. That was Michael Jordan-esque right there. And we're not trying to say that, Tom Brady put up all-time great numbers, but he made the throws, made the touchdowns, got the team going crazy. We had Gronk. He was over there. He was just a leader. He was a leader at 40 years old, something that LeBron James never was in his whole career. Remember, it just took him to take that team over the top. A 40-year-old quarterback? That's all it took? Come on, man. Come on. A 40-year-old quarterback, Tom Brady, who demanded greatness, right? So, of course, Tom Brady, if he was, I don't know, Tom Brady had to get to 7 championships to be considered the best, because Joe Montana was 4-0. And you can say what you want to say about Joe Montana, great quarterback, but they ran the ball more back then. That's what I'll say about that. Yes, he didn't throw no interceptions. It seems impossible, but they didn't throw like that back then. Yes, he made the throws when it was time to make the throws. No doubt about it. It was Joe Montana. That's just what it was. But I mean, I'm not trying to doubt his throwing ability, but I'm trying to, when I hear people say, "Oh, he never threw no interceptions in the Super Bowl," well, they didn't throw like that. They didn't throw like that. If he threw like, they've been throwing the last 15 years or something like that, he'll have a whole bunch of interceptions in the Super Bowl. And I don't know, Joe Montana, he's not up there in the top 5 in quarterback anything. Passing yards, rating, per yards, total yards, wins. He just ain't up there in nothing. So I can't put him number 1. I could probably put him like, top 2, top 3 Super Bowl quarterback of all time, but nah, I can't put him number 1. I can't put him over Brady. Brady's got all the records. He got so many records. He's got all the quarterback records, all the regular season, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and he's got just player records in the Super Bowl, the playoffs. It's just insane, all these records that Tom Brady has. He's got all the MVPs, the all pro, all decades, all that stuff. Joe Montana ain't coming close to none of that stuff, man. He ain't coming close to that. But we'll see what happens to Mahomes. We'll see what happens. I don't think he passed Joe Montana. People was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt if he kept winning. But the way he lost last year, I mean, you just got blown out in 2 different Super Bowls. That's weird. Tom Brady never got blown out in the Super Bowl. He lost 3, but they weren't blowouts. It was down to the wire, close games. So yeah, I just found that funny, And yeah, Tom Brady, he had a dynasty. LeBron James never had a dynasty. It's just weird. Joe Montana, dynasty. Terry Bradshaw, dynasty. LeBron James never had one dynasty. Who's this? Larry Bird, dynasty. Magic Johnson. Of course, we talked about Tim Duncan. We talked about Curry. How Curry got a dynasty on LeBron James, but LeBron James is a better player. Is the GOAT. You're gonna put LeBron James in front of Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan got a dynasty through the draft. You try to put LeBron James in front of both of these guys, Tim Duncan and Steph Curry, who put dynasties on his head in the finals. It just don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. So the LeBron fans, they'll hate that. They'll hate that. But it's the truth. It's the truth. LeBron James never beat a dynasty. They won a dynasty, yeah. So, I mean, if they were going for a dynasty, say they won 2, right? And then they were about to win 3, and they was going for a dynasty right then. Okay, he broke up a dynasty. Something like that. But LeBron James got 2 dynasties put on his head in 2 different eras. I mean, I got to make a meme about this. I got to make a meme. People, oh man, he didn't have no chance in 2017. He didn't have no chance in 2007. Why'd you go to the finals? Why do they celebrate this guy going to the finals if he has no chance? Why is it celebrated he went to the finals if he has no chance to win? Why is he go get all these super teams and rearrange all his teams? He ain't got no chance to win. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. And so you don't even want this dude as a GOAT. You never heard, oh man, Brady ain't got a chance to win. You never heard nothing like that. Oh, well, you never heard Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, oh man, these guys ain't got a chance to win. Never heard this before. Only for LeBron James, he didn't have a chance to. Why is he there? I wouldn't even go there. What is you there for? Why did you show up? I wouldn't even show up. If I know I don't have the team, I wouldn't show up. See, that's what you guys say now. But he didn't think that. Go for the upset. Take him 7. Average 41 points a game like Michael Jordan. Average 35 points per game. Not when somebody's hurt. I'm talking about when you got your good guys with you. Nobody's hurt. Put up 35 a game. Put up 40 a game. It's easy to score in that era. What's stopping you? Oh, you can't shoot. I forgot. I'm just saying, we got to think about how many times this guy got beat. Not only 6 times in the finals, but we're talking about in the Olympics, the FIBA, things like that. And these players are telling their grandchildren, yeah, we got LeBron James championship trophy. We got his gold medal. Sit around the fire. I'm gonna tell you. They're telling their grandchildren these bedtime stories how they destroyed LeBron James. Can you actually? There's no player that ever said, "Oh yeah, let me tell you a bedtime story where I destroyed Michael Jordan in the championship." It never happened. Not in the Olympics. Not in the FIBA. Nothing. Not in the college championship. Not in the NBA championship. Never. Don't you think somebody would like to have that story that they beat Michael Jordan in the championship? Not only do they have these stories in Greece, in Argentina, Puerto Rico, and then I'm talking about the international players, but now you have the NBA players. Someone was international to beat LeBron James, but now you have all these NBA players that can pass down stories through their family that they destroyed LeBron James in the finals. Because you got to remember, he didn't go to a game 7 in no finals. So basically, he got destroyed in every final series that he lost. Didn't even see a game 7. So let us tell you the story about how we destroyed the GOAT. That's what I'm just saying. You LeBron James fans who say he's the GOAT, all these stories are telling their grandchildren how they destroyed LeBron James. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of these children was hearing this, from their parents that played in these championship games when they were 6 years old, 8 years old, 3 years old, 12 years old. And some of these kids are older now. Some of them are like 20, some are like 25. They're older now. They're saying my father beat the hell out of LeBron James in the championship game. Yeah. They won't put these children on the media. Yes. Or I don't know if we would want to say grandfather. I don't think those kids are old enough yet, but I'm being serious. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's walking around promoting himself as the GOAT, the greatest player of all time. When you got people in other countries telling their grandchildren that they beat the hell out of you. Yeah. Remember, he won't take the, 24 FIBA team with Anthony Edwards and a whole slew of dudes. Banchero, all those dudes that was on that FIBA team that got beat. He won't take them and lead them in the Olympics. He had to rearrange that whole damn team and get a whole new team. I think the only guy that was left on that team was Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards had to come off the bench. Remember the next Michael Jordan? Remember, oh man, they're gonna have to worry about me. Like, dude, just bring the water, the Gatorade, the cold towels, sit on the bench and shut the hell up. The turnover king put you on the bench. He slid Curry in your spot, took Curry's spot as a point guard, the turnover king, the meltdown king, the choke king. This dude. Yep. So I'm just saying, I thought the comparison, I think I did a video on this a long time ago, but it just, they don't twist the basketball so much. It's the worst sport. It used to be the best sport, but it's the worst sport now. As bad as baseball is now, because of certain things, I won't even get into it. We talked about it before. The NBA is even worse, folks. They won't even let these 2020 guys promote the game, push the game, move on without this loser. They're still trying to rekindle something. Oh no, it really didn't happen this way. Oh, this really happened. Like, dude, everybody knows what happens. You want that dude, you choke, you fail, you melted down, everything. It's over, man. Let these guys have their time. The Anthony Edwards, the Luka Doncic, even AD, you ruined his career. the Jokers, the SGAs, the MB. Let these dudes had a time. You had your time. It didn't work out. You wasn't that dude, man. The crazy part is, we don't even think he's the top 10, but the longer he plays, it gets worse because the more lies come out, the more narratives, the more they're trying to change history, trying to change his story and stuff like that. So he just pushing himself out of the damn top 100 because, it ain't respectable.